Welcome to this episode of Mind Your Migraine podcast. I'm Dr. Alessandro, and today we have Anna here as a guest. We'll go through the ripple effect, how the migraine has an impact on the quality of life of your beloved ones.
Hi, Dr. Alessandro. Thank you for having me. And this is an opportunity to share a bit more of the migraine diaries, basically.
Anna, your grandfather and your mother were suffering from migraine. Different times, different conditions. But how do you think that their family and their friends were able to support them?
Well, to be very honest, when I was growing up, I always saw that my grandfather used to take naps and we couldn't make noise. And as a child, this is like, you don't understand, right? And then the same thing with my mother. She would just be in bed for a week and we couldn't make noise and we couldn't disturb her. And when you grow up, you don't really understand why. And now I do.
So, given your family experience, did it help, did it offer any help in seeking for support from your family and beloved ones to manage your migraine attacks?
Well, definitely did, because when I have the strong episodes, I call my mother crying and in panic. And she just tries to calm me down and say, this is not going to be forever. And it's really so hard to see the light in the end of the tunnel. And I keep asking, how was it with you? How long did it take? When did you start getting better? How was it with grandfather? And they tell me, even my grandmother used to tell me, like, this is something that you're going to have to live with. So you have to manage, which is very, very difficult. When you're in the episode, I don't even know how, it's very difficult to explain. So how can I explain my husband or my kids?
Sure. I think that the most important thing is to engage them. Make them stand by your side, collaborative and supportive. You have to explain them in advance what you're going to go through, that probably you will need a quiet place, silent room, maybe a dark room, because lights, noises and sounds, even smells or perfumes can hurt you, because your brain is so hypersensitive because of the ongoing migraine attack. You cannot stand even the slightest stimulation. And the other most important, very important thing is that you have to explain them that they have to be supportive, not trying to diminish your condition, not blame you for what is going on until the worst will be gone. And then hopefully in a few hours, you will be back in your place as before.
Well, I think honestly, the most difficult part in terms of family and expectations, I have a lot of commitments that I have to attend. And this causes me a lot of anxiety because when I have an agenda for a week and these things you have to confirm in advance. So I'm like, okay, let's pray that this week I don't have a migraine. And then I have it and I have to cancel that day. And people don't really understand. And they're like, why are you not coming? You're such a diva. So it's not like that. It's not a normal headache. It's not, this is really a chronic condition. So it's not something that's in your control.
Yes, that's the problem of the burden of migraine and how people don't understand. They don't realize how bad it could be. This is true until you explain to them. So you can start working with your family, teaching them what will happen, what you'll go through, what can make you feel better, what can make you feel worse, and they will try to copy. Sometimes they can provide some non-pharmacological help and support. They can give you cold ice packs to put on the head. They can give you a scarf to tie around the head or some hot water bottle for the neck.
Exactly.
Or you can ask your partner, for example, to take them out for a walk or to buy something to bring back to you. And this will give you a few hours to try to get back to
Yes, absolutely.
To yourself.
And sometimes I feel like, especially in the moments of extreme anxiety, just the simple thing that you have someone next to you holding your hands, it really helps.
Yes, this is why we say to people suffering from migraine, you don't have to be a martyr. You don't have to just suffer in silence. You have to look for teamwork with your family and beloved ones to get through the migraine attack.
Yeah.
But sometimes you reach the point where self-medication or just painkillers are not the right solution. And that is the time when you need to look for a headache specialist, for someone can guide you and try to help you with specific treatment to make life
a bit easier,
better again.
No, this is, I mean, you've helped me so much in this journey. Honestly, I don't know what I would have done without your support. And it's very critical what you said, because there was a phase that I was just taking medication after medication, painkillers mostly, but every 4 hours, I was taking something. And this also causes a lot of anxiety, because you spend the whole week like taking medication back to back, which is even worse, like you explained me, because the frustration process first is like nothing is working. You don't understand why this is not working. And like you said, you get intoxicated. So you'll be able to explain that better.
So yes, we know that people take painkillers to try to get some benefit or some relief from the pain. But we know also that on the long can trigger like a rebound headache, can make the situation even worse and more difficult to treat. For this reason, it's better to try to look for a specialist, because nowadays, if I can just give a take-home message, which should be a message of hope, that there are several medications available that can help getting relief from the migraine and prevent it from coming altogether. So don't just rely on self-medication and just stay with your pain. Look for specialized help to try to get it through.
No, absolutely. I mean, if I see myself today and I see myself 1.5 years ago when we started the treatment, has nothing to do. I was having migraine every single day. And especially because of that rebound effect, because I was just intoxicated with all these medications. So now, because we are doing a more long-term medication, even the pain is not as strong. So whenever I have the episodes, if I would have to rate them, it would be a 5, 6 instead of a 9 or 10. So, I mean, it's really something to look forward. So I think in my case, it was kind of natural that because my grandmother has it, my grandfather had it, and my mother had it. So, but I think some people, they don't have this family history maybe. So what do you think that would be the best way to support in terms of family members to support the person with the migraines?
So one thing they can do to try to help them is, for example, to recognize when they have a migraine attack and actually to count how many episodes they have. Because sometimes people, they just underestimate their condition.
Yes.
But maybe they are suffering from long time, many attacks, and they just don't really realize. So family members can help, like taking a diary or a history of the attacks. Try to be compliant with a healthy lifestyle and healthy food. So being supportive in having sport activity, checking on weight, for example, and then, of course, trying not to be too noisy or too stressful when the person is suffering from the headache attack. And then, of course, when the time comes to go and see the doctor, be on their side and not just to diminish the condition as just a headache, because we know that it's much more than that.
No, definitely. I think... like sometimes, especially when I was really in desperation, even calling you calm me down. So this is really important, because it's not only the medication, but it's like seeking for your advice, your expert advice, that it's like, okay,
so and this is also important, because we have always to remember that it's not just pharmacological treatment. It's not taking a pill. It's a combination of pharmacological, non-pharmacological, behavioral modification that can help getting through the
it's
migraine.
Like so many dots connecting
and
together.
Just to connect them.
Yeah,
exactly.
And,
so Anna, what has been the best way your friends or your family show to support you through a migraine attack?
It's difficult for me to explain my children, because I have 3 small kids, 5, 3, and 2. And every time mommy has a headache, you can't tell them not to make noise, because how can you keep a 2-year-old silent? So Well, it's very challenging, and what they do actually that somehow makes me feel more supported is they make drawings and love letters, kind of, to say, "Mommy, feel better." So somehow you like bring that energy from inside of you. To be very honest, like my best friend and my husband have been really key people, because they took me to the hospital when I had the panic attacks. So, and they stayed with me. And then, when I call, they come and they hold my hand and they're like, okay, this is going to be fine. So honestly, this is the best, like, okay, you go to the hospital, to the emergency, and you get the IV and all these things. But it doesn't, like, just because you have an IV, the pain doesn't go immediately. It takes a few hours, maybe a day or two. So having someone next to you, supporting you and just being there, it makes a huge difference. I think this is something that people need to realize, family, loved ones, and the world around you, because if someone tells you that they cannot attend certain thing because of they are having a migraine, that's it. There is no question mark. So this is something that, it's underrated. So it has more awareness needs to be pointed into migraines.
And raised, absolutely. And
Yeah.
hopefully this is what we are
Exactly.
trying to do today.
With this
also thanks to your
podcast,
participation.
yes. I hope that this, opens up the world and the world mentality. So thank you for having me.
Thank you, Anna, for being our guest today. And looking forward to meet you again in the next podcast episode. And Dr. Alessandro, it's been a pleasure. Thank you. Bye-bye.